Okay, we're going to talk about modes. The first thing that you got to remember when you have modes is that there's really two basic categories of modes. We have parallel and relative. And as a guitar player, I like to use the parallel modes because they share the same tonic. That's the first note. So that is the Ionian mode. The Ionian mode is the first of the modes. There's Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. So today we're just going to worry about two modes. We're going to worry about the Ionian and the Aeolian modes. But as a guitarist, I usually use the parallel because they share the same first note. Then there's just different things, but they have like what's known as parent keys. But I'm going to talk about parallel modes more in a different video. And I'm making this video in response to a viewer who wants to understand how modes work. So now we're going to talk about the relative modes. These are the modes that they usually teach you when you're taking Music Theory 1 or 2. I can't remember where I learned it all those years ago in high school, whether it was Music Theory 1 or 2. But relative modes, they share the same key signature. So essentially, when you're talking about those two modes, Ionian, which is a major mode, and Aeolian, which is the minor mode, the relationship between that is like a relative major and a relative minor. So remember, we're just talking about C. And in this book here, you see the relationship. So just look at C and A minor. And if you want to look at the other ones, that's cool too. But the major is C, the minor is A minor. So the C is Ionian, this is the Aeolian. Okay? It really is just that simple. Remember, we're talking about the relative modes. The relative modes where they share the same key signature. Well, what does the key signature mean? Well, in the key of C, there's no sharps or flats. No sharps or flats in C major. Therefore, if I'm in C and I go down, and this is additional stuff. This is not really part of the modes, but you can kind of apply this concept to these two modes. I go down 3 half steps to A. So, and even in the chords, A minor and C, we have 3 different chords, 3 different notes, that is. I might be playing 6 notes in this bar chord, A minor bar chord, but there are 3 different notes. And in C major, there's 3 different notes in that, C, E, and G. Same thing with A minor. Is basically got the same notes except for 1. So I think in A minor you have an A, E, and C. And then in C major, C, E, G. So they're very close. They're relative. And then in the scales, there's no sharps and flats. But I'm starting on a C here and I'm starting on the A. In other words, if you know that C is the 1 of the scale, and there's 8 notes in the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, it's the 6th degree. It's when I'm in the key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, I'm in the 6th degree. That's how relative they are. They share the same key signature. All right, so let's go over. Hope that's not too confusing. Just accept it, take pieces of it, little chunks at a time. It's just something that needs to be accepted. It's not really that complicated either, especially if you're just talking about modes, Ionian and Aeolian. We're not talking about the other ones like Dorian or Locrian. So if you just play a C major, which is I'm starting on the C major scale. I'm starting on the 6th string, 8th fret with my 2nd finger. 8th, 10th fret, chain strings, 7th, 8th, 10th frets, and then 7th on the 4th string, 9th, 10th, using my 2nd and 4th fingers, chain strings, 1st, 2nd, 4th, 1st, 3rd, 4th fingers. Or you could play it this way in the open position. be sure to go backwards and forwards. So with the A minor, I can play it this way. 5th fret, 6th string, 5th, 7th, 8th frets. Now on the 5th string, 5th, 7th, and 8th frets. 6th string again, we got using the 1st, 3rd, and 4th fingers. That is the Aeolian mode. Okay, C major and A minor. It's all different though. If I was in the key of D, what would be, and the D is considered the Ionian mode, what's the Aeolian mode of D? You can apply that concept going down 3 half steps, or starting in D, E, F, G, A. D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, that would be the 6th note. So D, going down from that D note, just 3 frets. The Aeolian would be B. That's how simple those two are. Use those two, and you'll start to understand what's going on. And then, like, I don't want to get too much into it, but then you have certain modes that some of them are more majory sounding, like major sounding, like, you know, like major scales, and some of them are minory sounding. Ionian obviously would be a major. If you want to remember them too, there's like, I don't play loud music any longer. So Ionian, Lydians, Mixolydian, those are the majors. The Dorian, the Phrygian, Aeolian, and Locrian are the minors. So I don't play loud music any longer. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Just to worry about the two though, because if you try to, see, I think what happens to people who are beginning to entertain the notion of understanding the concept of modes, you're trying to understand them all at once, and you can't. You just do 2 at the most. And if you're a beginner, just do the major scale, and don't inundate yourself, don't overwhelm yourself with the theory. But it is important. I highly emphasize learning theory. You don't have to learn all that really super technical stuff unless you want to. But I know that some of the greatest musicians out there, like take Oscar Peterson, for example, you know, fabulous, and you know, or Joe Pass, for example. I don't know if he was into the theory as much as Oscar Peterson, but when Oscar Peterson was performing and he's improvising, he's not really thinking about it. He knows it. It's been in his core, and but you don't have to really know all that theory in order to improvise and sound good. And you know, you play from your experiences, from your heart, and I was told you play every note like it's your last time you're going to play it. But that is what I feel about modes. Don't learn everything that there is to know about modes right there in the spot. Just take it a little bit at a time. As a guitar player, I usually like to use the parallel because they share the same note. So that would be the Ionian. If I wanted to play the Dorian, it would also start on C. And there's different fingering. But we're talking just about the relative modes right now. And Ionian and Aeolian are the easiest two to understand, because it's like the relationship between a major and minor. And be sure to check out some of my other videos. I did a series about major and minor scales. And if you want to learn to play lead, it's just so important. So here we go. You can play a C. You can play a C and an A minor. That's the Ionian. If I wanted to play the minor scale, Aeolian, because I can play A minor to a C. I could play this one too, this open one. I didn't think I played that one. So there's my fingering right there. I'm using the open 5th string and the 2nd and 3rd frets, my 2nd and 3rd fingers for both the 5th and 4th strings. And now, open 3rd string, I use my 1st finger on the 2nd fret and the 3rd string, 3rd finger on the 4th fret, 2nd string, 1st and 3rd frets, open E, and then play the 1st, 3rd, and 5th frets. That is, it's a minor, A minor, Aeolian to the C Ionian. Aeolian to the C Ionian, that's what that basically is. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and keep playing and have fun.